Well, good morning, world. Coffee time. Oh, I don't know what time it is. I think it might be 20 after 5 in the morning or something like that right now. Slowly waking up. I was all excited to go check the chicken coop this morning to get one of these last big fat rats. And he got lucky and missed the trap. Went off without him in it. Little bastard. But anyway, what am I doing today? I'm up this early because I'm doing travel day again. Huh. And for anyone who may live here or want to come here, or you have to often travel, I'm going to give you this little tip on the ferry, the BC ferry, which has downgraded in quality over the years. I won't bamble about that. But anyway, get this one. So when we first moved back here, I had a whole pile of hay. And I went back over for a truckload of stuff and I got my hay. And I didn't know it at the time, but hay is considered dangerous goods. Because they always ask on the ferry, you got any propane or fuel tanks or dangerous goods? Anyway, so I got to pay my ticket. And she goes, do you got your paperwork for your hay? No. What do you mean? I'm thinking, oh no, she's not going to let me on the boat. She said it's dangerous goods. You need to fill out the piece of paper. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But get this one. So I rarely get a reservation on the boat because I've just got to fly by the seat of my pants. I'll bolt for the ferry lineup, get in it, and I'll just wait. I'll get on there eventually. You know what I mean? Sarah likes to be more organized and have reservations and everything lined up. Me, whatever. I'll get there when I get there. So anyway, it was a Friday, sunny out, summertime, busy peak season. Who knows when I'm going to get on this boat? I don't give a shit. And they rifled me all the way past all the hundreds of cars that were there before me, all the way down to the very front. Told me to go up into this little office and get the paperwork. They print it off. And I had to say, where's the hay coming from? Where's it going? And that's it. And I'm in the front of the lineup to be the first one on the boat without a reservation. So I go to the guys in the office. So I go, so you've got hay in your pickup? You get on first? And they both looked at me and went, yep. Without a reservation? And they both laughed and went, yeah, how funny is that? And I go, how many bales? And I can't remember, it was either 6 or 8 bales of hay, and that's all it takes. So guess what's going in my truck after I have coffee and share some of your voices today? I'm going to throw 8 hay bales in my truck. You're damn right I am. And then I'm going to go over, get in the front of the line. I got to go to my friend's wedding. Turns out Sarah can't go. She didn't really know a little bit too well anyway, but we just can't find a place for the dogs. Nobody's here, so whatever. So I'll whip over there today, and then I am back day after tomorrow. Same thing, and it's a Friday of a long weekend. That's when you will not get on the boat. Well, I'll be getting on the boat with my hay bales in the box of my truck. I thought I'd pass that little tidbit on to you guys in case any of you do the same as me, travel in the ferry. Now, what else? Got a bunch of voices to hear. I hope you guys checked out the Count of Stones. I was going to try to do a live this morning. I thought, well, maybe it'll be different. Early in the morning, less traffic on the satellite. I don't know, but I don't have time to go trial and error right now, and I really am not into the frustration. I had a very, very frustrating half a day yesterday. Very frustrating half a day yesterday. Starting off with trying to be live with all you guys, which I'd prefer to do, actually. Anyway, the Candace Owens things. I hope you guys checked out the Candace Owens thing with the pedos in France. Even if you didn't follow the story, it just tickles me to see anybody stand up in the face of the tyranny with absolute confidence and no fright and not willing to budge even a millimeter. Love it. Time Magazine, Man of the Year, Brigitte Macron. Holy. Hold on a minute. Looks like somebody wiped their ass with my glasses. Got Adventure Dog down here with me this morning. My chunk of black Velcro. Man, this dog, tell you what. I keep teasing Sarah. She's jealous of a dog. She says, I am not. She's just weird with you. That dog, she does not. It's so weird for me to watch having a dog sometimes. I mean, come on, dog. It doesn't matter where I go in the house. If she's passed out, if I get up to go get something, she's like, oh. And she gets up, follows me. If I go to the I have to go to the bathroom. I close the bathroom door. Sitting there, right? And I hear her nails up to the bathroom door. I know he's in there. All the way to, or through the bedroom, around the bed, around the other side, through the bedroom doorway into the bathroom. Just sit there with me. I'm like, come on, really? Why do you need to do this? So funny, right? Dinner time, she has to be on the floor beside my chair. On the floor. Has to be. Nighttime has to be on my side of the bed, on the floor. Has to be. So bizarre. But she avidly goes with Sarah, obviously, when she walks and does her thing to protect her. Anyway, she's under the table, by my feet. Let's hear some voices, shall we? Hi, Steve Isdall. Please do not share my name. Might have heard a wood knocked down in the woods. July 25th, 2025. Have to down and water. Might be a couple typos. I have to down and water my backyard. Please not share my name. My story is urban South Seattle, Washington. Steve, can you explain the difference of the 3-toed and 5-toed individuals? For years, I have gifted the squirrels. My dog and cat do not like this subject. Had a being in the backyard, invisible behind me. Tell me I would be scared if I saw him. Then the little girls were exploring the woods below their mother's rental apartment and found a cave just below my house in the hillside. The cave was in a slide area. Big wind and rainstorm, December 2018. Had bare 3-toed footprints. Wow, that person needs a spa day to cut their toenails. On my kitchen porch, told my neighbor she thinks might be a bear, or got scared by the movement light. Lots of homeless living in the woods. Got scared by the moving light. I think he probably meant moving light. 2019 or so, I saw a big, huge person. It's back. Heard with by my dog or Holy Spirit to look down. Humble yourself. Just saw its back. Broke my shade. Cannot open the shade on the left facing west. Walked right between my house and the camellia bushes. I bent the bamboo branches. Sometimes smell rotten eggs. July 2023, just before my friend AB had passed away. With my friend, we just had a falling out. June 25. I remember her about what I reminded her about what we saw. She lost her apartment key for the 3rd time. Comes to my house. When I remind her, ran over to my neighbor who told me lots of people see unusual things on our road below our homes. July 23, my friend and I, as I was driving that road, said, do not hit them. A person dressed in all black, head to toe, with a small person. I thought a Muslim woman wearing a hijab until I went to the doctor. Tech was wearing a hijab, realized, oh my lord. Not something women walking with their kid, walking the trails in the woods. Typos, sorry you guys. Then a person screamed. Or by a grocery store dumpster, a being may have screamed in frustration. Freaked the apartment dwellers out. Person covered in black with a kid. July 23, looked down, looked up, they were gone. In Burien, heard some person screaming. I thought it was her. I told them, some of us know you are here. Do not scream. Do not eat our cats or little dogs. They come for the fruit seasons. I watch your program. My friend came. Lost her apartment key on light rail doesn't see very good. She had a falling out after I reminded her of our sighting. Told me it was a woman walking with a kid dressed in black. Maybe. I heard a wood knock. Had dinner with my cousin. I think we celebrated a birthday. Drove up that little 2-lane road in the dark and had someone dressed in cellophane run across the road. Called my friend. Suddenly, a helicopter flies over the woods, 9 or 10. 2024, at night. People shoot off firecrackers down below on that road, or gunshots. Had in April something trying to claw on the gutter of my house in the dark. My dog would not let me go outside into the dark to confront. I called on Jesus Christ. Happened twice, 2 different nights. Yelled at it. Neighbor thought it could have been a raccoon. Crazy. I heard, help me. Outside, looked at the dog and cat, closed the shades. Ongoing weirdness. Please not say my name. I believe there must be a path, day, or they jump from place to place, just like in Acts, New Testament. Okay. Huh. All right. All right, I got you. A little confusing comment on Epstein and Trump at the end, and that's it. It sounds like something's going on in those woods below your house, without a doubt to me. Obviously, something's going on. Cellophane. Somebody writing in cellophane. That's a good one, actually. A good description for many people that see the shimmering images. Shimmering images of something, somebody's moved in the forest. Keep us posted. Hit spell check next time. Appreciate your time and see send us that email. I hope you stay safe out there. Hi from Washington. Hi back from Vancouver Island. Hi, Steve and Sarah. I'm writing on behalf of my husband, who listens to you religiously. I've lost count to how many nights I've fallen asleep to the sound of your voice because he's up late watching your videos. We're visiting Washington this week, all the way from Nebraska. The first thing my husband does when we see Vancouver Island is wave and say, "Hi, Steve." So we thought it was time to send an actual message to say hello. We love what you do and truly appreciate the messages you put out there. Keep up the great work. Sincerely, Matt and Sarah Galen Kirkin. Galen Kirkin? Hope I didn't butcher your name. And I'm waving back from Vancouver Island. Be interesting to hear where you see the island from. So I guess you can see it from immediately over Port. Oh, what's that little chunk of American land that's by those islands, by the Twassen Ferry? Why am I forgetting the name of that little community? Anyways, I'm just trying to figure out where you can see the island from. It's either going to be right beside one of the Gulf Islands, or are you going to be in Port Angeles, maybe? I don't think, you can't see us from Seattle. Anyway, my brain, right? Appreciate the wave, and I appreciate the hello, and I'm sending it back every time you scream it out in the air. It's coming right back at you, all right? Just so you know. So you know. Have fun and be safe in Seattle. In Washington, the woo of Sasquatch. I remember in the beginning when I was first talking on here openly, and I kept on hearing these people I don't have any respect for saying woo, and I didn't have a clue what the hell that was. And I remember going, woo? What a stupid word. Who come up with that horse shit? If there's any woo, it should be on us today. All right. The woo of Sasquatch. Hi, Steve and family. I've given visual experiences, but I have never discussed what I call the Sasquatch woo, or the Oz factor. There seem to be certain areas where the Sasquatch reside that people, myself, and others will experience certain factors that are not normal to everyday experiences. I have one saddle on the mountaintop. The saddle was in capital S, so that kind of made it confusing. Probably a typo. I have one saddle on the mountaintop. Every time I, my wife, my dog, and I tested it on my nephew, whom is post-military, we have strange occurrences to our mind and body. Such as I will start to walk through this one particular saddle hunting mushrooms, and my dog used to start going in circles on the ground. And I, or all with me, will experience dizziness, mind fog, confusion, and basic ability to walk through and step over a blow down in normal fashion. Weird. All in all, the sudden loss of balance when walking. That'd be very alarming to me. Very. These places seem to be rare, but are areas we have had experiences with Sabe in the past. If you back out of the area, the feelings go away and stay away, unless you get close to the area again. I call these feelings the Oz factor. I have tested it by taking my nephew, pre-military, through the saddle mushroom hunting. I then asked him after getting to the pickup if he had any strange feelings while in the saddle. He said, yes, it was spooky and I got kind of dizzy and disoriented while in there, thereby proving to me that in fact there is a strange factor in that and other areas. But if you back out of them, everything returns to normal. I've read and heard about the smell Sabe emit, but in my 67 years of life had never experienced until this year. My daughter and I did experience a slightly strange stink when huckleberry picking one year, and having small sticks snapped in 3 different directions around us. I personally believe the stick snaps are bored juveniles, seeing if you will notice they are around you, and if you will show any fear. That I think they enjoy watching humans exhibit. That I think they enjoy watching humans exhibit when it's know that they are around. Like us watching a scary movie. My daughter asked if I smelled the strange smell, in which I replied yes. And then after each stick snap, she asked if I heard that, in which I replied yes. She said, we're surrounded. What do you want to do? As normal, I said, let's just slowly go to the pickup and get your mom on the way. This is our normal thing we do when we realize the Sabe are close. We'll then go to another area. Anyhow, this spring, my dog named Dog, and I were paralleling a ridge when I started to smell a stink like none other I've ever smelled. I looked towards Dog, and I noticed that he was checking out different spots on the ground around us with great interest. The smell was of really stinky, almost human-smelling poop and garbage, and the smell of a dead animal, or as I call it, the smell of death. I was in an area we had in the past, had a lot of Sabe experiences. I heard a crack, looked up on the ridge in time to see about an 8-inch tamarack about 9 feet up, break over to the left and hold in a 90-degree fashion. I was less than 100 yards from the tree, but I could see absolutely nothing under or around it. Then I started to getting a dizzy, disoriented feeling. And as I started to walk back towards the pickup, a general loss of balance. I went back towards the same broken tree some 7 days later, as it's one of our best morale sites, and walked up to the broken tree with my wife as we had discussed it upon my return to the pickup 7 days before to check it out. As we neared the tree, she said her ears were ringing really loud. And my ears, in which I had my hearing aids up to full volume, started getting a pressure and loss of hearing in both ears. There was no stink smell whatsoever, though. Her ear ringing and my loss of hearing and pressure went away as we left the broken tree area. I call these experiences the Oz factor. It's just another unknown happening that seems to occur in areas where the Sabe reside. I don't know if we're being zapped with infrasound, or if we're near a portal or a rip in planes, or what the cause. I do know that due to Dave's recommending to back out of areas like this. This is what we do, and the feelings and factors go back to normal as you leave the area. Be young, have fun, watch your 6 tracker. You too, Tracker. Good work on moving out of there. Yeah, I've been um, encouraging people to just take. You've got any. I don't care what it is that goes down. You're in the woods. You, your kids, anybody, and something really weird's going down. Back away the exact same route you went in. The exact same route, not off to the side of the trail you took in. Back out of there. I don't know what that's about. This something's going on with some ley lines on the planet. Our friend Rob Duvall emailed me a while back about that pattern, something with a pattern of the ley lines of the planet on the Earth. I'm not quite awake right now yet. Getting there. What's that meter? Oh my God, my brain is absolutely not working. What's that meter you can have in your pocket that, not for radiation, the other one, for electricity? Somebody knows what I'm trying to say. Throw it down in the comment section, will you? Electromagnetic meter? Electromagnetic? Anyway, be interesting to have that and go in that area and watch what the meter does for the energy going off around there. Those nuclear scientists said they were going to send me one. They never did. And they said that's what you need, and that's what tells you when they're around. Or maybe this, I mean, maybe that tells you when they're around, or maybe that just tells you about the zone. Maybe that just maybe the meter tells you you are in the physical area where they may be. It might not be them giving off the frequency. You never know, right? You never know. Huh. It's funny, another side note. I think probably more due to what I've done all of my life, which is trying to figure out where a game is and one particular game animal may be, where it might go. And I've been doing that all my life, including every single day driving to work and home from work when I lived and worked in Whistler, British Columbia, or going to Vancouver, whatever. All I ever did was gaze up in the mountains. Like if you have ever driven from Squamish to Pemberton, and if you look on either side of the highway, I've been on that mountain in that timber. With confidence, I can say that. I scoured those forests and hills looking for certain trails and routes. Anyway, I've spent more lifetime than I haven't trying to figure out and just looking and taking notice and watching and trying to figure out where, why, for game. And I almost do this subconsciously for these people I find, especially here. What am I trying to say? So, as example, when I was looking years ago, when I decided I did go guiding that year, and I had my guide partner, and he came down, and we went snooping around, and I was intentionally trying to find these people. Had a camera on a tripod, the whole 9 yards, right? And I just sat back and I was trying to figure it out, taking note of where all the people I spoke to in that tiny community at the time, which is probably quadrupled the population since I was first lived there. I think I spoke to 44 people firsthand, just in the Sea to Sky area. 44 people I spoke with who were firsthand experiencers, and I nailed it. Now when I look back, did I nail it though? I thought about this crossing. I'll tell you exactly where. It doesn't matter. I went up the Pemberton Valley, and there's North Creek and South Creek main line, logging roads, North Creek and South Creek, and they're also creeks. I'm trying to figure out how they get from Squamish area up and over and go through to Goldbridge, etc. I nailed it. But now I look back, and now that I know what I know, did I nail the physical zone, or did I just nail it in my mind? And they knew I'm looking for them with my intent. They read the intent in my mind and revealed themselves to me there. I think so. Because at the time I was just thinking, well, how do they get through without the wintertime snowmobile or seeing their tracks? Where would you travel? How did they travel from Squamish to get to here? Oh, here's now looking on the map, and there was a natural timber covered intersection which would connect you to the upper Squamish Valley, cross over the Pemberton Valley, and then onward wherever you wanted to go, up towards Meager or up and over to the right up North Creek towards Goldbridge. And that's why I went there, just thinking it was like a normal human being or a game. At the time, I knew they're not an animal, a game animal. I knew they were a type of person. But I didn't think I quite accepted the fact of the other, what we consider supernatural things these beings can do. Anyways, I'm ramble-bambling. Yeah, right now, this stage of the game, I don't think I so much guessed physically where they travel. I think it was the intent in my mind which caused my experiences to start happening. I'm convinced of that at this stage of the game now. Anyway, but I can't help but still, I always wonder when I hear people filling me in of what they know and what they've seen around where I am now. And there seems to be a line, which is the Beaufort Range Mountains. Easy to see in Vancouver Island, right? And they also basically cross near Cathedral Grove, that big timber on the Port Alberni Highway. And right across there is the base of Mount Arrowsmith. Well, guess where there's a pile of sightings of these people over the years? The Beaufort Range, Cathedral Grove Forest, and Mount Arrowsmith. And then I talked to my other, the ladies came over the other day and introduced me to my new friend, I think. It's my new friend, Cam. And he was telling me where he's seen footprints. Now people seen footprints. Is dead in line with and on Mount Arrowsmith. And then moving along, that line points towards going south and points towards that and ends up in the Nit-Nat area. Nit-Nat area. And oh man, I'm forgetting a name. But anyways, in my mind, I'm just taking note, right? I'm like, oh yeah. And then when I go to certain areas looking for elk and put my trail cameras out and stuff, I can feel a bit of a pressure on a certain zone. I just feel that pressure. And that is towards the, oh, come on. The area between Nit-Nat and Klanawa. It's all in line. It's all in line on that line. And I'm interested to know if those electromagnetic lines, is it the ley lines? I forget. If that's got something to do with it. And then, also, I took note of where else they seen and heard these beings. And it's straight in line on how many times it's been straight in line with Nemint, the lake on the other side of the Alberni Inlet. There's so many sightings on this side of the ocean. It's a long, narrow inlet. And I'm just telling you guys, I'm always, in a way, I'm just taking out, oh, interesting. Oh, wait a minute. That's dead in line with Nemint. Of course it is. You know, if they have to cross physically. Oh, somebody's texting me. Hold on. Sorry, I had a little slight interruption by Sarah. She might have found me a reservation for the boat today at 4 o'clock. And seeing if she might get that. Anyway, sorry. What I'm getting at is I just try to make, I'm always connecting the dots when it comes to where they are, where they're frequenting. And then I'm trying to make sense of why. Where and why, what's there. And it's kind of confusing, but I can't help it. I'm just nonstop doing it. And I don't want to go invade or try to seek out for any kind of purpose, but I just still can't stop myself from kind of going, okay, wonder why, oh, they're going there. As example, the highway between where I live right here and Tofino. There's sightings on that highway so routinely, it's ridiculous. And I wonder why, where are they going? And then if you cross the highway between there, it goes to Strathcona Park, where the late, great Dr. John Bendernagel had his first experiences. All in line there. Great Central Lake, right over here, nonstop. Elsie Lake, connecting right over here, which takes you into Campbell River and Courtney, nonstop. Comox Lake. Anyway, I guess I'm rambling, but I'm just saying, I can't seem to stop myself subconsciously from taking note. You know, it's same with hunting, when I hear people say, oh man, so-and-so saw a huge buck cross wherever, and then me, I always go, huh, what? Oops, that just went on a shelf right here. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is, every new person I speak to and they tell me what they experienced and they say where, it goes onto a shelf in the back of my head without me really realizing I'm doing it. And then I start trying to subconsciously connect the dots. of where and when. I don't know why. I just do. I don't even know why I shared that. I probably sound like a rambling butthead right now, but whatever. Next, who's next? What do we got here? Mark this as read. This is titled John Blatt, Eric Jensen. I have more to share now. Hello, Steve. I'm going to try to make this as quick and concise as I can. I wrote you a few years ago. I was backpacking alone in the Mount Rainier area. Something woke me in the middle of the night. Your video title was a predator comes out from behind. My story was the second shared. It was 1995 when that happened to me. I'm going to get through this as fast as I can. No time limit, man. Just take your time. The interviews from John and Eric made me want to share more. This happened to me as a kid. I fished and hunted my whole life, backpacked. We were waterfowl hunters every weekend. All the physical experiences happened to me when I was not with my immediate family, but when I was with my best friend's family. Trinity Lake, California. I was in 3rd grade. Kids running around the woods playing. We heard a bunch of tree wood knocks. We paid no attention. We were kids. 5th grade, camping with the same family around the Tucanawn River, close to Dayton, Washington. Huge rocks thrown in the river while I was fishing. Who the hell's doing that? I'm just a kid. Paid no attention. Same camping trip. Something's walking around me and my buddy's tent in the middle of the night. I was awake. He wasn't. I asked his parents about it in the morning. They told me it must have been raccoons. I was raised to listen to adults. It wasn't raccoons to me. I'm writing now because of what John and Eric shared. The dream started. 5th grade, I started waking up in the middle of the night because of something wiggling the big toe on my left foot. What? I thought at the time it was my past grandmother. I then had a dream of hugging one of these beings under the streetlight in front of my house. I then saw myself hugging the same being from my bedroom window, like an out-of-body experience. I'm 53 now, and it's still fresh in my mind. And all these dreams are still with me. This is the first time I've ever spoken of this with anyone. I continued hunting and fishing. Columbia River, Snake River, Yakima River, all in eastern Washington. Trees fell over or stuff was always thrown in the river or pond I was hunting or fishing. It was beavers or whatever. You make stuff up to explain the unexplainable. 15 or 16 years old. This is the second dream. I was in a horse barn or something like it. I could see through the slats in the wall. And 3 of these beings were walking toward me over a hill. 1 big one in the middle and 2 medium-sized ones on either side. I was watching these things move towards me. Huge. They moved like massive athletes. They had a purpose, like the Patterson film. Then, 1 huge face looking at me through the slats. It looked like a monkey young human. The hair around the face is black, no hair in the face, a tan human monkey young person. I did see ears, the eyes were normal, just big. The teeth were huge and flat, gibbering at me, moving up and down and side to side. It petrified me at first, then made me feel stupid. Like a big brother making fun of me. I grew up with a big brother, so I know. And I had that dream again, but woke up when the gibbering started. That's 15 of the time. I can still see it in my mind to this day. Has anyone else had these dreams? Please share. The last dream I had was when I was 27. Dead-end road, forest all around, and 3 beings materialized. They materialized from forest trees to human hairy beings in front of me. They were all the same size, big. That's all I can explain or remember. I had no clue about mind speak at this time, and this is what I heard in my mind. It all happened so fast in 1998. You are ruining our planet and we don't like you. And that was it. They disappeared. I was living in Seattle, Washington at the time, and not the Tri-Cities, Washington. And that dream happened after my Mount Rainier experience that I shared with you. Holy crap, wow. I don't know what that means for me. I never have put that in timeline together until now as I write this. All this stuff happened to me so many years ago. All of those dreams I'm writing about are still so real in my mind. Those dreams will not go away for me. I've never spoken of it until now. I just want to help others feel okay to share stuff like this. John and Eric did that for me. And I just admitted to hugging a Sasquatch person under a streetlight in front of my house and then witnessed the whole thing from my bedroom window in a dream. That happened to me in 5th grade at 53 years of age. It's still real in my mind. I keep an ear to your channel of this because I need to learn from others. I want to learn, not be part of it. We are way beyond the fact that this is not the same. This is not some wood ape. Right? Way beyond. Mind speak. Some folks claim they can mind speak with these beings, and I have an open mind. I need to learn more about that. You have the Peoples/Sabe Bible from Bobby Short. She did the research, made the book you read from. I call Bigfoot the Peoples. Mel Ketchum is another. If anyone else had dreams about these peoples, please share. Please share Mind Speak. Long-time listener, long-time learner. Much appreciated. To you, M. LaSalle. There you go. Appreciate your honesty, man. Appreciate it big time. There's a lot of people that have dreams. A lot. And I had one when I was last living on the mainland, Mount Curry. I had a vivid one. Same thing. Like, you know how many times we had dreams and you forget them by lunchtime? You forget them by coffee or after breakfast. You forget them within 20 minutes of waking up. But why do some dreams stick with us as vivid as it happened your whole lifetime? And I had one of those. I remember telling Sarah about it. And it was in Mount Curry, and I woke up and I was on a sloping road downhill, side of a mountain, sloping down to a rural property, almost like an old abandoned barn, and a bit of a grown-up clearing around it, like it wasn't trimmed up. And there was 3 of these people. They were all reddish brown, and I can't see their faces perfectly right now, but in my dream it was so vivid. Everything was so real. And I remember feeling a little panicked, like they had me. Like there's nothing I can do. They got me. If they wanted me, they got me. I can't go down the road. I remember thinking, I can't go down the road. I can't even go in that barn. I remember just having that vulnerable feeling that they had me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, shit, holy shit. But nothing bad happened to me. They didn't do anything bad to me. But I just, that's my one dream that stands out, absolute vivid still today. And that happened about 5 years ago. Don't know why I had it. Was I looking for them intentionally then? I don't think, no, I wasn't. But anyway, there you go. We do have a lot of people reporting dreams, and a lot of people are going to share in the comment section below, guaranteed, or they're going to email me, without a doubt. And I appreciate your honesty, man. Love it. I love honesty. No matter how crazy some of you think it may sound, who gives a shit? This whole lifetime's crazy. This whole lifetime's freaking nuts. Who's next? Registered nurse here. Read this. I'm a reading. Steve, my name is Martha Van Tassel. I'm a registered nurse in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and I have 2 stories of encounters. These didn't happen to me, but my family members. Nonetheless, I'm living proof because of what I witnessed. First, I want to say a huge thank you. Enjoy your laid-back yet forthright enthusiasm, supporting those who've been scared pantsless by a first-hand experience. I call it pantsless, well, because who wants to wear pants when the obvious happens? At least I put myself in their shoes, and I know I'd be taking off my undergarments. Like you, I don't need another experience or one at all. Hey, let's discuss a couple of things, and I know you will because it's who you are. Gosh, exactly what I love about you. Yes, tell the world. You and I had met earlier, I'd be your horseback riding hunting support guide through and through. That sounds like I might have a crush on you, but that's not totally true. I have a special heart, special place in my heart for your mission. This mission wasn't sought by you, but I truly feel your life was spared, seeking you to tell your story. Your near-death experience brought you closer to truths, the ones you were meant to share. I will tell you, growing up as a bow hunter's daughter brought me into the wild, deep, and dark forests. I have a lot of great memories of elk camp on top of the beautiful wild mountain tops of Wyoming. I remember a wall tent with a stove and 2 feet of snow on top of it. My mom and brother and I were in there with only sheets on us to sleep. We had mountain lions outside the tent. We had mice in it. It was a haven to all of us in the area. My dad came back with some amazing stories. 2 cougars, a black bear, so many elk he couldn't choose from, moose, and even trout in streams that were larger than life, according to him. He only really went into details about his hunts when he successfully harvested a mature elk. He let me and my brother in the spring make makeshift ponds and get the fish. I do remember sitting in the deep forest with my mom and a crossbow waiting for something to walk into the clearing. I have a couple of stories I want to tell you, but before I do, let's address this. I want to know what your readers' thoughts are regarding the sixth sense. I had so many feelings as a young girl and later a young woman in the mountains. I love, love, love the outdoors and want nothing but to live off the grid, but I can't. I'm so afraid of what I love. It was created the same time I came to love the outdoors. I had a lot of experiences where my heart was true, loving life, enjoying family, and ultimately ending up totally horrified. I had absolutely no reason. It was dark in the forest, and I could always feel a presence. I've never shared, even to this day. I'm sensitive and feel premonitions often, even to this day. Now looking back, I know there was something out there that felt my heart. Something was drawn to me, and if I could have said anything in that moment to that being, not saying it was a Sasquatch, I would have projected from my mind and heart a feeling of love and support that's deep. That will likely be what a few of your readers might feel. I'm not guessing or projecting what might have been there. To this day, though, I knew that many times I had a presence in the wild that may have even protected me. My parents were and remain great parents, but at times we didn't see them from sunup to sundown in the woods. They laid the boundaries, we abided. Well, except for my brother, whom they had to tie to a tree at 2 years old, but he quickly learned his lesson. Growing up in Wyoming, my grandparents had a cabin they built across from Mountain Home, south of Jelm and Woods Landing, Wyoming. My 2 cousins have a story that collaborates. Let me tell you the story. Danny was roughly 15 years older than me. He was 10 when this happened. He wanted to sleep out one night just off the deck about 20 yards in a hammock. My other cousin, much older, was upstairs in the cabin and has corroborated his story. Danny, at the age of 10, wanted to sleep outside one night. My grandparents had a dog named Boozer, a skipperkey, small dog used to kill rats on ships. Anyway, the dog was inside and always slept by the door. That was comforting to my cousin, made him feel comfortable. The only thing he was worried about was falling out of the hammock. It was the old, thin string hammock that only kids fit in. Thus, being worried he would fall out, he tied himself with strings into the hammock. He made them easy to untie in the event he needed to get out. It was a full moon, as he recalls it, and he was just about to sleep when he heard a very strange noise about 200 to 300 yards away. The cabin sits roughly 70 yards from the train tracks. Now, at this time, you'd normally be hearing the coyotes and owls, but this night it was stark silent. He stated, "I was a kid, though, and I didn't think much about it until after my encounter. So there I was falling asleep, and I started hearing very large, long, striding, and heavy, what sounded like footsteps. Thought for sure I was just hearing a train at first, but the sound got louder and louder, closer and closer, and I was not hearing the normal chug, chug, chug sound you'd hear with a train approaching. I began to become alarmed when the footsteps felt as though they were directly behind the cabin. He explained that whatever was coming was massive beyond description. The hair on the back of my neck and arms stood straight up as I heard whatever this was exiting the tracks and breaking branches, tossing brush aside, coming my way. This thing was heading, and I do mean heading directly for me. For a second, he told me. I wondered, did this thing know I was there? I knew it wasn't a dream, when suddenly Boozer went nuts, barking from the other side of the door, and then yelp and scamper away. With this, he says, time froze. Seconds became minutes in his mind as fight or flight set in. In an instant, he says he heard deep, garbled breathing sounds behind him from way, way, way high up. Mind you, he was only a 10-year-old kid, but this thing, looking back, he says this thing had to be 9 to 10 feet high. So next, the dog had by this time awoken my grandparents and my older cousin inside the cabin. In the cabin. Excuse me. Next thing, Danny says he knows I'm subconsciously trying to untie my hammock, which was out of my control, really, because I still felt frozen. I knew I was in immediate life-threatening danger, and this wasn't a dream. I somehow managed to dash to the cabin. As I stepped onto the deck, my cousin opened the door, and out came Boozer. My grandfather was directly behind him, reaching into the gun cabinet for his rifle. Next thing all we see is Boozer flying, literally flying through the door. Something swatted her through the dog. My cousin literally caught the dog at head height and knocked him backwards to the ground. My cousin was an all-state bodybuilder in top shape, and the dog's momentum knocked him down. It is said collectively that everyone ran out onto the deck and saw nothing, heard nothing. Needless to say, none of us ever slept outside again. Hearing this story being told by both cousins on 2 separate occasions, more than 30 years apart, I feel this story is 100% true. They were both very somber about the subject and had a problem telling the story. Second encounter. My dad has Alzheimer's. He's 67 and declining rapidly, and I watched your videos the second they are posted. I'm always telling my parents the stories. We all love the I should be dead video the most. We're all most drawn to your hunt stories with scary backstories. I love them. So, 3 weeks ago, I'm rambling about one of your Sasquatch videos and sit down next to my dad and say, "So, Dad," he's staring off into space, but he's been listening, "have you ever seen a Sasquatch?" He pauses, turns his facial expression from a lost look to a certain look of expression and clarity, looks right at me and speaks a full sentence, then more sentences. Alzheimer's is, as you know, unpredictable memory, gone for days and then a brief moment of clarity. And I kid you not, he says, "Yeah, I've seen one before. This is when I was in the 3rd grade growing up on the ranch in Wheatland, Wyoming. At this particular moment, my mom, my husband, my kids all go totally silent. I'm sure the look on my face was both, ha, and what? I ask, not hesitating a second to be sure I captured the clarity, "Oh yeah? What'd he look like?" He says, "Well, there I was fishing at the river by myself, and this really tall being comes walking out of the tree line. It wasn't a bear. But I thought for a split second it might be, and I realized right away it wasn't a bear." And I asked, how tall was it, you think?" He says, "I was just a little guy, but that thing had to have been at least 8 feet tall, and it was a male." At this point in time, I'm in a state of puzzlement and amazement. I ask, "So what'd you do?" He said, "Well, I thought to myself, I better get the hell out of here." And a second later, total state of confusion. To this day, his clarity gets more and more confused, and I continue to ask him, "Dad, what did you see?" If we're alone with no one around. And he repeats it word for word, Alzheimer's and all. If my brother's here and I ask my dad, he gets confused and makes jokes. Steve, this is profound. It is what we all fear. I truly believe my dad fears, even in his own mind, what his son would think of him. But me, his daughter, whom he knows loves him regardless, believes him always. Take for what you will. Love that I have someone to share this all with. I never want to see one of these beings. I'm terrified of the woods, but if you took me with you into the wilderness, I'd be your badass hunter. I'm a dead-eyed dick, as my dad used to say, and would love to be deep in the woods with someone who knows their shit. Love your work. Keep it coming. I'm a webmaster. We need to launch this. Feel free to reach out. I'm all yours. All right. Appreciate that. This is an older one. I don't know. It doesn't sound familiar. I don't think I read it, but it was marked as unread right here in my notes. Oh, this one's way too long for right now. With footprint pictures. Another time. There you go. Appreciate that email. Wish you weren't terrified of the woods, but if it's your sixth sense, your gut tells you to be terrified, then it's not wrong, right? Going against your gut or letting someone talk you into going against your gut sucks. It's not the right thing to do. And I always use this one example, in your face example of that. I might have said this before, but it's that Timothy Tardwell or whatever his name was. That ex-heroin addict from California who went up to Alaska and started talking to the grizzly bears like they were his buddies. And then he forced his girlfriend to go up there and stay overnight when she didn't want to at all. She was terrified of the bears, thought she was going to get killed. She didn't want to. And he coerced her and made her do it, and they both ended up getting killed by bears. So I always use that as an example of going against your gut instincts and going against your sixth sense. No matter what anybody says, don't do it. Right? So I'm just saying, this kind lady who wrote into us expressed her absolute fright and terror of the dark woods. Well, there's probably some kind of meaning there, you know what I mean? So if you're terrified, absolutely terrified of the dark woods, don't go there. That's your soul talking to you, right? And there's me. I'm always the guy that says, don't be scared of anything. Go anyways. Right? I do that too. I'm guilty. Both sides of the line. I encourage people to not be scared of anything. But when it comes to the ladies, the moms, you know, if something's telling you to be terrified, you better listen to that above anybody, you know. Sarah's been scared a lot over the years. She's had a little bit of anxiety over the years, and she's been scared of a lot. But next thing you know, now she's she traveled from Bangkok all the way back home by herself, which is something else. Making transfers in airports kind of freaks her out at the time. Not anymore. She was scared of the woods and scared of camping and scared of being in a tent. She always joked about, it's the Talon. The Talon's gonna get us. Can we park the truck closer to the tent, my side? And she joked saying, the Talons are going to come through and get me. I'm like, the Talons aren't going to get you. Excuse me. And now she goes hunting and she shot an elk last year. She wants to go again this year. She can't wait. So I'm just saying, sometimes you're terrified and scared of things, and sometimes it's not the correct message. Anyway, I guess I better get going because I got to travel. I don't know what time it is, but I got to get going. I don't have a reservation to get on any ferry boat, but I have to go. So, because I have to go to my friend's wedding. It's very important. And I'll see, maybe, who knows, maybe I can come back on here. Who knows, maybe I might even do a live where I'm staying. It might have enough juice for the internet to do a live. Maybe, possibly. I think that'd be cool. I wouldn't mind talking to somebody here for a change, right? Babbling back and forth. And like I said, again, people coming on here with me is going to be a little challenging coming up. There's a very kind man came on here with me. I forget his name right now. And the video got totally screwed up. Stopped recording. And I got to get him back on here as well. As long as Justin Meyer, I got to get him on eventually. And have an end to our conversation with him. I think that's 2 people I screwed up with on the recording here. I think that's it so far. And there's a whole long list of other people who are going to or have got invites to get on here as well. We'll get there. We'll get there. And I have one other place I have to hike into to put some more cameras in my spot. Every time I go to the mainland, I always I always make time to go to those mountain spots that I love. And I think last time, I threw down 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 trail cameras I got out, and I still 5, and I still have to get 1, 2, 3. I still have to get 3 more out, so I might be able to take everybody in the woods with me when I do that too, and see if I feel any pressure as usual. Right, ears ring, and my ears ring. I can kind of hear them right now, but sometimes my ears ring like you would not believe. And I always thought it was just me from almost getting shot in the head a couple times, but now to hear a lot of people from here explaining how their ears start ringing. I wonder if I'm overly sensitive to that myself, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, babbling. Hope everybody has a great day. Great weekend coming up, right? Was Wednesday today? Well, weekend's almost here. Make sure you do what you love to do, all right? No matter what. Make sure you do what you love to do. Otherwise, you are a loser. That means you've lost. Across the board, you've lost if you don't do what you love to do. Okay? Make sure you do it. And take somebody with you, somebody young, and tell them the truth about everything in the world. I was thinking about that earlier, too. I was thinking, our future generation, some of them are going to be honest, truth-telling, brave individuals, and some of them are going to be our new liars. So which one is it you want your kids to be? Right? Don't raise the scared little liars. What's that noise? Oh yeah, there's a dog down here. Okay, I gotta go. I'll be back later.